the Ed Show. The American Legislative Exchange Council, or ALEC, as we've been reporting on, has been responsible for some of the most anti-union, anti-immigrant, anti-democratic, and pro-gun measures in this country. From voter suppression to stand your ground, ALEC drafts right-wing legislation to better serve its corporate members, and it pushes it on state legislators. But now, folks are waking up to what's really going on. Progressive groups are putting pressure on ALEC's corporate members as well as lawmakers. Some of the most recognized brands in America, from Coca-Cola to Kraft Foods, have left this organization, ALEC. 16 of ALEC's 76 Democratic state legislators have now cut ties with the group. Tonight, number 17, a Democrat, joins me on the program. South Carolina State Representative Ted Vick is currently a Democratic candidate for the United States Congress. He has been a member of ALEC since 2004, but is resigning from the group. Mr. Vick, thanks for joining us tonight. Why have you decided to leave ALEC after 8 years? And I guess I should say, why did you join?
Well, I'll tell you, Ed, ALEC was a group that offered a place for Democrats and Republicans to come together, and the private sector to come together to actually talk about the real issues facing our country, to talk about policy issues that can actually move our country forward and make the economy better and make businesses work better and make government more efficient. Unfortunately, ALEC over the last few years have gone more and more to the right and not done what its original intent was to do. Jeffersonian politics, less government but more effective government. So
you consider yourself, I understand, a conservative Democrat. At what point did you serve notice that there was a shift in ideology, and was it a particular issue that moved you? And I keep thinking about voter ID. Why would ALEC ever get involved in that? But what was the linchpin for you?
Well, the thing for me, it started about 3 years ago, Ed, and I noticed the trend, and I don't know if it was the Tea Party movement that was taking over ALEC or what the right-wing agenda was, but I can tell you this. It started moving to the right and getting very extreme. You know, we're running for Congress because we're tired of the extremes. The American people are tired of the extremes on both sides, and they want to see this country move forward. They want to see a Congress that can work together. What did it for me was I was actually at a speech, luncheon that Governor Jindal was up speaking, and I actually got up and walked out last year in response to, he was bashing the president, bashing Democrats, and I went and talked to the executive director as well as the president of our state here and said, you know, I'm not going to stand for this. We can't continue to do this. If ALEC doesn't change, I'm going to be leaving this group, and I will be encouraging other Democrats to do so as well.
What do you think the future of ALEC is at this point, Mr. Vick?
Well, you know, ALEC was, as I said, a very good tool where folks from opposing sides could come together and actually talk about the issues outside of the boxing ring of politics and actually work on things in a bipartisan manner, in a statesmanship manner. You know, if ALEC would get back to its founding principles, which is Jeffersonian principles, those principles where folks from both sides of the aisle work together trying to find real solutions, then it's got a place in this society. Right now, if they continue to do the right-wing things that they're doing and pushing the agendas that have nothing to do with more efficient, more effective government, then it doesn't have a place in politics, in my opinion, and that's why I'm resigning.
Do you think some of the sponsors, the contributors, didn't know how active they were in the right-wing agenda until the social media got after it? I mean, obviously, the Stand Your Ground law got a lot of attention with the death of Trayvon Martin. But then, upon further review, they have been very involved in voter suppression. What in the hell does that have to do with business in America?
Thank you very much. And that's what the private sector's figured out, because, you know, they're a big part of ALEC as well. The private sector actually had an opportunity to come sit down with legislators from all over the country. This was the largest legislative exchange in the nation. And they had an opportunity to come, and we started having conversations with them as well. They were concerned about the direction that ALEC was going, and they've revolted now by pulling their sponsorship and support, and I think they rightly have done so.
You think ALEC has done damage to the country with some of the radical legislation they've pushed and gotten through, like Stand Your Ground?
Well, I think extremism, on the right side has definitely done damage. We've seen that in our economy. The gridlock that's going on in Washington, D.C. right now, as you said, I'm running for Congress. Folks are sick and tired of the gridlock. The folks in Dillon and Marlboro and Marion counties are starved for jobs, and they're starved for real leadership to move this country forward. And that's what we plan on providing when we get to Congress.
How many more of your colleagues do you think will distance themselves from ALEC? I mean, you've been very graphic about what you think the problem is and what the issues are. I mean, do you think all Democrats are eventually going to leave?
Well, I think it would be a good stand that Democrats as well as moderate Republicans ought to come out and take a stand and say, look, we're interested in solving the real problems of this country. We're not interested in taking up right-wing agendas and right-wing issues. I encourage my Democrat colleagues as well as my Republican colleagues to do the right thing and to make ALEC either change dramatically or either not join ALEC again.
I don't think they'll ever be trusted again. South Carolina State Representative Ted Vick, good luck to you. Thanks for your time tonight. Appreciate it. There's a lot more coming up in the next half hour of the Ed Show.